I'm very excited to have this in our mini orchard. This is a 5-way dwarf pear tree, which means it's got 5 varieties of pears onto one dwarf tree. And I will show you the flowers. They are beautiful. They're about to bloom. This one here is the summer crisp pear. It's so neat to see different kinds of flowers onto one tree. They're very pretty. Right here is a red Bartlett pear. This one is a Bartlett pear. Right here is the cycle pear. These are anjou. Just a couple of things I wanted to point out when you're planting dwarf trees. First of all, I want to show you the different parts. This part here, the bottom, is the rootstock, which determines the size of your tree. Part here is called the scion, or the initial twig that was taken from a normal sized tree, or the variety of tree that you'll be growing, which was grafted on, right here you can see, onto the rootstock. The important part to remember is when you're planting your dwarf tree, make sure you leave this rootstock at least 2 inches above your soil. If this rootstock gets buried, the scion right here will root itself to the ground, and as a result, your tree may cancel out the dwarfness of the tree. So if this roots into the ground, your scion or your initial twig from a normal sized tree, you'll end up with a normal sized tree if it's a 20-foot fruit tree rather than a 4 to 5 feet. I just want to show you how they grafted these different varieties of pear onto one tree. I think it's very neat and interesting. You can see where this was grafted here. This is the Bartlett pear, and this one here's a summer crisp pear. So you can see where they were unified together here, and another one right there. Next thing we'll talk about is the soil and how deep and wide the hole should be for your dwarf tree. Make sure you dig a hole at least 12 to 18 inches deep and 12 to 18 inches wide. The soil should be loamy, which means it has a good ratio of sand, silt, and clay. Will provide proper drainage as well as holding the nutrients necessary for your tree. If your soil is too sandy or clayey, you might want to add some organic matter such as compost, and over time it will help your soil become loamy. This one I'll be planting is a Fuji Apple tree, and I've got 2 other ones over there to the left. I think one is a Honeycrisp and the other one I believe is also Fuji. You will need a different variety of apple tree to help with cross-pollination. That way your trees will bear fruit. A really great thing about having a tree with more than one variety is that you won't need to plant a second tree in order for it to cross-pollinate to bear fruit. Now, I have read that some pears do not require a second tree to pollinate. Some are self-fertile. This Fuji dwarf apple tree has been in that nursery pot for almost a year now, so it became a little root bound. So I just want to show you, I separate the roots before I bury it up. So if yours becomes root bound like this, make sure you gently separate the roots. That way it will help promote better root growth. So before I bury it up, remember this is the rootstock and this is the scion, or the original twig that was taken from a mother tree. You want to keep this at least 2 inches above the soil. This rootstock here. That way it will prevent from the scion into rooting itself into the ground. Give it a little bit of water. We have our new additions in our mini orchard in the ground. Here's the 5-way pear tree, our Fuji apple tree, and in between we've got the Honeycrisp and another dwarf Fuji apple tree, which will need to cross-pollinate with the new tree that we planted. We also mulch them with some dried leaves that we got from our garden, and it's important to mulch the trees because they need moist soil. Also, you want to use something organic, maybe some hay. That way it will slowly decompose and provide nutrients in the soil. I'm so excited about this 5-way pear tree here. The flowers are blooming and they're just beautiful. Can't smell them. I guess they don't smell like anything. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, have a wonderful day and happy gardening.